All right, good morning, day 28. We're back at it in the garage gym for the Vegan 300. We are going to be 8.4% complete on our journey to 100,000 reps. That means we're 8,400. We'll be done after today's session. Today's January 29th. It is 4:30. So we'll start here in about 2 minutes or so. Let's check the weather real quick, because it is 23 degrees in here, 5 degrees outside. So I got my toe warmers on. I got my heated gloves ready to roll. We're about to do this. Today's comment that we're responding to is from Nothing Is What It Is. The animals we farm would not exist without us, bud. Okay. Nature is cruel. There are fish that swim up your piss hole for shits and gigs, bud. Humans need meat to survive. Cooking meat is the reason we were able to evolve to be smarter. Okay, let's first start with the animals farm would not exist without us, bud. Yeah, I don't think that we should be breeding animals into existence only to slaughter and kill them. So as long as we continue to do that, like they're going to be around. Do I think that that's a good thing? No, I don't think that that's good for their breed and their species to just continue to breed them and do what we're doing to them. So I'm okay with them not existing, but it's going to take a long time to get there. So nature is cruel. I mean, absolutely. There are fish that swim up your piss hole for shits and gigs, bud. I don't understand what that means. Just because nature is cruel, and that's in their natural instinct to do those things, doesn't mean that we should go out and kill and eat them. And also what we're doing to the animals right now is breeding them into existence, transporting them on a slaughter truck into a manufacturing slaughterhouse, lining them up and literally taking their life one by one by bolting them in the head or slicing their throat on a manufacturing line, on a high-speed manufacturing line, and then chopping up their body parts. That certainly isn't what happens in nature. So this isn't nature that we're doing. And humans need meat to survive, and that's just untrue. I mean, over 9 years here, there's so many people that are continuing to live strong, fit, and healthy without eating any animals. So we've obviously shown you, the research is there, that you don't need meat to survive. Regardless of the reason why we were able to evolve and be smarter, that doesn't mean anything. I mean, we're here. It's 2026. We no longer need to eat meat. Like, and if you think that we don't eat meat, or if we don't eat meat, our brain is going to shrink, and we're going to become like this unintelligent species. That's just not true. So, the fact that we're just saying that, oh, we've gotten here, like we've hunted to get here. I mean, great, that's fantastic. And we might have been hunters and predators one day. But today, 2026, you and I both know that we don't need to be hunters. And we can't just say, oh, they did it back then and it was good back then, and so it's going to be good today. That's not how it works. That's not how we should be thinking about it. All right, day 28 here. We're about to get after this. I have not drank a lot of water so far today. So we're going to have to either do it after the workout. 4:32 now. And remember, I'll try to get a half a gallon. This is half a gallon done before, say I go off to work. And, you're pretty much set for the whole, half a day at least. All right. All right. Remember, doing the vegan 300, 300 pounds of meat are eaten by the average person every year. 300 pounds. That's why we're doing the 300. I coined this term, the vegan 300, because of that reason. And this what we're doing, these movements, call it a special movement. It's like three reps in one movement, which is pretty awesome because it's like a full body, like covers everything. We got 20-pound dumbbells today again, all week. So not going to change it up now. All right, here we go. Without further ado, let's go with it. All right, 10 rounds of 10, 100 reps or 100 movements. We got, and that'll be 300 total reps of these 3 movements. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So yeah, this idea of, we ate animals to get to where we're at. I mean, that's great. We did a lot of things in history to get us where we're at. And that doesn't mean that we should continue doing that. It doesn't make it a good thing. So let's think about that. There's a lot of things we did in history that were not good. But sure, we got here. We ate meat. We did what we needed to do. And now we know that we no longer need to do those things. But now we made it into a whole industry to make money off of, a lot of money at the animal's expense. Four, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nature's cruel. I mean, I'd agree. You know, again, I talked about the video of, well, there's tons of videos, but, you know, these orcas basically hunting a penguin. And it's terrible. I mean, nobody wants to see that. You know, you're kind of rooting for the penguin. But it is nature. Right outside our house, there was a injured goose. But I'm not sure if the bald eagles injured it and they were literally preying on it. And, you know, it was kind of stuck in the water, stuck in the ice. And they were watching it. We talk about watching like a hawk. I mean, these are bald eagles, but they were literally hunting it. And they were waiting for a good opportunity to strike, and that's what they did. You know, it is cruel. One, but these are actual predators. They hunt for survival. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You know, we think that it's natural for us to go out and kill an animal. You know, to naturally prey on other animals. That's a predator. And it's just not natural for us. And that means every time we go out in nature that we need to be cruel? No. You could shoot animals with a camera. A nice lens, strong lens, zoom in. You can get some amazing pictures without harming them. But not enough people do that. 3 rounds through. Here we go. Chipping away at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You know, it's also interesting. The comment there talked about fish swimming up a piss hole for shits and giggles, which means to tell me you understand that fish have an experience, you know, as do other animals. So we do know that they're sentient. And I do believe fish do things for fun, or they play with each other fish. You know, they kind of, I've seen, you know, we had a fish tank growing up, but the fish would like nip at the other fish and they'd run away or actually swim away. So yeah, I do believe they have fun or they play, and you know, it's just not all like just nothing. I mean, fish are there just existing. I mean, they have their own experience, and they don't want to be hooked in the mouth, pulled out of water and suffocated. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I just want you to think about it differently. You know, I'm not trying to force my beliefs on you, but my whole goal is to get you to think differently and start to reconnect back with the animals. You know, understand that they're like us in a way of what happens to them matters to them. That's all. And it's not what we should just dictate and do what we want with them. Even if you have a good enough reason, or if you think you have a good enough reason, whether it be, oh, we used to do it back in the day, halfway. We used to do it back in the day, or, you know, it's tradition, or, you know, I'm feeding my family. I mean, name all the reasons. There is no good enough justification, one, to do that, because it's their body too. It's their life, and it matters to them. 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The one thing he said that's wrong here is that we need meat to survive. And we just don't. Like, if you really believe that, it's frustrating because, you know, the science says, like my experience says, but more importantly, the science, like, there's doctors that say that you don't need to eat meat. So please don't hold on to that. Don't die on that sword thinking your whole entire life that you need meat to survive. Like, it's just not true. You can get all the protein and nutrients and vitamins that you need to survive by eating plants. So it's just frustrating if you hold on to that. It's just like, I don't know what else to say other than you're wrong. Keep watching and keep doing your research. So that should no longer be a reason for anybody to, and I'd be the first to be like, yep, if it was true, 3, I'd eat meat. 4, I'd be dumb not to. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, we'd be dumb not to eat meat if we needed to survive. Maybe that's why a lot of people think, vegans are malnourished and they can't think right because they're not eating meat. They're not eating animals. But come on, like, do your research. Look at all the other people that are doing it. And even this guy, me, out here over 9 years without eating meat. And then look, still out here doing a workout, lifting dumbbells, getting exercise, who's strong, fit, and healthy. No meat. So am I gonna wither away and die? Eventually. I think we all are. But not because I don't eat meat. One. So that's really the only thing I disagree with the comment there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Vegan 300, ladies and gentlemen. It's a nasty workout. Covers everything. We've been doing it for 28 days. We've done, or will have done, over 2,800 reps of each movement right there. Strict push up, the dumbbell swing overhead into a dumbbell front squat. So I encourage you to give it a shot. You don't need a lot of time. Don't worry about the weight. You can start with 5 pounds, 2.5 pounds, whatever. You can start with no weight. Just do the movements. Push up, press overhead, swing overhead, and then right into a front squat. All right, finish up round 8. We got 2 more to go. Warm. 300 pounds of meat are eaten every year by average person. There's 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 'Did you know that all plants have protein? I don't think many people realize that. All plants. Fruit, green beans, lentils, tempeh, tofu, chickpeas, rice, carrots, broccoli, onions, tomatoes, peppers. All of it. All of those plants have protein. Fruit, vegetables, all have protein. Here we go, last round. Let me see if I have enough plant protein to get through this. There's 1. 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 100. All right, look, we finished out on the row and we're done. See if I got enough energy. There it is, 26:09. We're right around there, under 30 minutes. Nice pace, nice easy. Just right into the next movement, minimal rest. And we're right into the next one. So I can say, I do think I'm going to go up in weight. 20 pounds is getting used to it. I think maybe next week we'll do 25 pounds and we'll see where that goes. But I remember doing those 35s over the weekend. Nasty. Took 36 minutes. It was just nasty. But that's where we're at. So not going to overthink it. Just going to keep going one day at a time, one rep at a time, one round at a time. That's how you get there. Keep saying I can't do all 100,000 in one day. It's just not realistic. It's probably dumb to do too. I don't even think we have enough hours. It just wouldn't be good for our body. But so that's what I decided to do. 300 a day. We got some built-in rest days in there, but we've only taken one so far, which I'm pretty impressed with. So, that's it. Day 28, 5:01 a.m. So good timing. January 20, or is it January 30th? Oh yeah, January 29th. So 28 days in. The animals we farm would not exist without us, but again, I agree with nothing is what it is. I agree with that. Because again, we're breeding them into existence. So, would I be okay with never seeing a cow again or a pig again? I mean, I don't think that's going to happen in my lifetime, but again, if you didn't know any better or the future, I don't think the future holds cows for, breeding purposes, because I think, the laws will be changed and animals will no longer be exploited. Same thing with dogs. I mean, we breed dogs into existence. And I mean, I know we rescue our dogs. I mean, but, just like I think there would be rescued cows and they'd go to sanctuaries, but I think that breeding them into existence for dairy, for milk, and or for their meat and leather and all the other things that we make money out of their bodies, I think that all goes away in the future. So, I'm okay with that. It is a different world. but that's the best for the animals. That's the best for them. Like that's what they would want. They would not want to be born into this industry where they're automatically, you know, bred for to be slaughtered, right? The day that they were born, they call it execution. Their slaughter date is really already known. It's all about money for these people that do it. Nobody's doing it for fun. No one doing it because it's what's best for the animals. That's for sure. Nature is cruel. There are fish that swim up your piss hole for shits and gigs, bud. Yeah, I mean, we understand nature is cruel, but that doesn't mean that we need to take part in that. Like, it's a cruel world out there. Does that mean that we go out and shoot and murder people because we don't like them, or we don't like their political views, or we don't like what they said to us, or we don't like the way they looked at our family, we don't like what they said, whatever. I mean, it's a cruel world, in nature, in the natural world. But nature, you talk about, like, where deer are, where like these wild animals live or have lived. Yeah, it's cruel. I mean, we talked about those eagles, those bald eagles preying on, a goose out there. We talked about the orcas preying on penguins or preying on, seals. I mean, it is cruel out there, but that doesn't mean that we need to take part in that. So, fish that will swim up your piss hole for shits and gigs. Yeah, I don't. We're not doing that. But that does bring up the fact that we do know fish are sentient, and I believe that they play and have fun, just like the deer play, and they seek pleasure and they seek happiness. That's what I'm observing from these animals that are around me. Humans need meat to survive. This is the one point of nothing is what it is that I think that he says that is untrue. Humans do not need meat to survive. Let's go on to his next point comment. Cooking meat is the reason we were able to evolve to be smarter. I mean, okay, great. If you look back and if you believe, and even if that's true, we're smart today. We know enough today that we know that we don't need to do that. And we understand that we have nutrients and vitamins and minerals and proteins are in plants. And we don't need meat to survive. So we don't need to continue what it took to get here. Right? Like, I hope that makes sense. And it's really anchored on the point of we do not need to eat meat to be strong, fit, or healthy. And if you don't agree with that, I mean, you're wrong. If you don't understand that fact and you just want to hang your hat and hang the rest of your life on, we need meat to survive. Like, that's just what we need to do. It's wrong. And I would hate for that to be, your thought process for the rest of your life. So I encourage you to do the research. I encourage you to seek more information. Don't just go off of what you believe to be true or what you were taught or what just, what everyone around you thinks or the conversations that you have. You got to go do your own research and then look at other people that are doing it or have done it and then are continuing to do it, including me over 9 years, at least 9 years. We know that it's possible. I mean, I know that for a fact it's possible. Like, everything around me could be a facade, a magic show, but I know my personal experience, my experiment that I'm doing, which is no meat, no dairy, no animal products whatsoever. My entire family knows this over 9 years. And look, I'm still out here. I'm on my goal to 100,000. I'm strong. I'm fit. I'm healthy. This is my own 9 years at least. There are other people, you don't have to believe them, but they're doing it. But you got to do the research. Please don't hang your hat on the fact, or do you think that it's a fact that you need to eat meat to survive? Like, that would be the most frustrating thing going through your whole life. And at the end of it, and like, you just believe that we just needed to eat meat. Like, that would suck. That would really suck. So, don't be ignorant in that fact and believe this false reality. because it's just not true. All right. Cooking meat is the reason we were able to evolve to be smarter. Yep. So again, just because we were doing it in the past, or it took, hunting and, hunters and gatherers to get us to where we're at today. I mean, great. Like, I wouldn't want to be in that world. I wouldn't want to be in that time of the world. But we're in 2026, right? You're watching this. You came across this. You're commenting on this, like today. And we don't need to eat meat. Like, we don't need to continue to eat meat and be smarter. Like, we're there. We're there. So, and eating plants, we're not going to go backwards. We're not going to all of a sudden, just over time. And even over time, we're going to shrink back. Our brains are going to become small, and then we're going to like revert back to whatever you think is going to happen. That's just not the case. All right. That's enough rant for today. Day 28, 8,400 reps, 2,800 of each of those repetitions that you saw me do on the vegan 300. We're well on our way to 100,000. I mean, we still got a long way to go, but one day at a time. All right, Tuesday, January 29th. It's cold out there. We're in Michigan. Stay warm, stay fit, stay strong, stay healthy, and go ahead and have a plant-based meal today. Go ahead and change what you were going to eat that was an animal. Change it. Ask for the plant-based meal option. I went to a restaurant yesterday for work. We were celebrating someone's retirement, and they had one option, like it was a fancy restaurant. One option, they had some vegetarian options, but one option said vegan upon request. Like one option. It was like this tomato onion risotto. Absolutely delicious. Phenomenal. It was amazing. It was so delicious. So filling. The taste was incredible. Fancy restaurant, scratch kitchen. They had no problem. So they changed. There was they talked about like it was a cheese. I don't know the name of stiletto or sticiano or something. And they changed that with something, or even removed it. But then they also did like a vegetable broth that they cooked it in, obviously, instead of a animal base or bone broth, which sounds like they did. But they're able to make accommodations easily. And that was, so every restaurant usually and will have a vegan option. So go ahead and try it. Ask for it. See if they do. All right. Because I had it yesterday. It was absolutely delicious. And so, that's what I do. I look for options, and I don't necessarily go to those restaurants a lot. And so when I do, I make sure that, spread the message if I can, and, just get another customer there for a vegan option. All right. All right, guys, have a great day. Stay safe out there. And again, have a plant-based option today. All right. See you. Have a great day. Peace.